Welcome everyone. Today I'm here in my kitchen and I'm going to talk about my 8 favorite zero waste practices. First we have napkins. These things are square. Most cloth napkins, in case you're wondering, they're usually more of a square. These are actually smaller than the ones you buy in the store for cloth napkins. But I find these are perfect when I'm eating. I just, wipe my face, no problem. But quickly, this one, hanging baskets, it's so cute. And then this one is bicycles with produce and flowers. And then I have, this is my favorite. And the last one I got, and I actually have other ones. These are just the ones I bought off Etsy. I have other ones I've gotten from the store, but these, the fabric is just so nice. They're like double thickness fabric. I believe it's like cotton flannel. So they're really soft. And I have to match. Okay, so that was item number 1. So item number 2 is reusable paper towels. So they're actually not paper. I should say reusable unpaper towels. I think that's what people are calling them. So I have these, and this is how they are after you wash them. When you first get them in, they're a little bit bigger. But I would say that's about a foot by 8 inches or something. And it's a perfect size. You just can wipe the counter with it if you have a spill. I pretty much don't use paper towels anymore except for something really gross. Like I even use these to clean up oil. And oil washes away real easily with soap. So if you have like if you spill some olive oil on the counter or something, actually use this to soak it up and then do a little dish soap, and it'll rinse right out, and then you can throw it in the wash. Oh, and I have them in this little basket. These ones that I'm showing you now, I just pulled them off the laundry racks, but these I already had folded. So like here is an example of the bicycle one. And the back is just the back side of the fabric. The paper towel, or the unpaper towels, we need to call them something, I guess kitchen towels. I'll call them kitchen towels. They don't have the double-sided thickness like the napkins do, but you don't really need it. And they're absorbent, and they clean up just fine. So that was number 2, the unpaper towels. The third item is washable Swiffer covers. And I actually had already taken them off, and I've already used them, but I just wanted to show you how they look when they come in. These are also from a seller from Etsy, and I'll show you. Oh yeah, this is Saged Home right there. And their products, I really like them. They have, all of these have like the serging on the edges, so they're sturdy. But anyway, yeah, I have used the Swiffer cloths, and they work good. And you just wash them. So the next item, number 4, are reusable tissues. And I've already used these. These are old. I've had them for a while, so they're not all freshly folded like these. But I just wanted white because I just like to kind of know that when I throw a bunch of these white things in the wash in there, and it comes out like my cleaning things, it all looks the same, so I don't get confused with my other towels and cloths. So that's why I have my napkins and dish towels as fabrics. Plus they sit out, so I want them to look pretty. So my 4th item is reusable tissues. They're not actually tissues, they're cloth. And they're, I've washed them because I've used them. I actually had COVID, so I used them for that, but I didn't get these until the last few days of COVID, so by then I didn't really need them, but they feel like t-shirt material. But they feel, like t-shirts, and they haven't the threading hasn't come off or anything on the ends, although I'm sure probably at some point it will. You just fold them in half and put them in here. And then it also comes with this cute little fabric container for like a little basket for the used ones. And these are way softer on your nose. When you have a sore, when you're up, you know, you're sick and your nose is sore from all your blowing your nose, that's really nice. All right, that was number 4. Number 5 is something that probably everyone already uses. Well, a lot of people already use, and that's these reusable grocery bags. And I just have a lot of fun with these. I've been using these since about 2005, so 16 years. You know, I was like the crazy bag lady in Austin, Texas back then when I first started doing this, but I didn't care. But yeah, I have so many different ones nowadays. But you just unfold it. And I just love all the fabrics, so I try to not let my fabric and bag addiction go too crazy, but I do have a lot of these. And I just, as soon as I use them, I bring in the groceries, I unpack everything, and I immediately put these back, fold them back. Well, I dump out if there's like any, like sometimes little pieces of broccoli will fall out, because I don't use the plastic produce bags at the grocery store either. Actually, I use these, I'll show you. I use these mesh bags and these kind of things. Or honestly, sometimes I'll just keep it loose. Like I'll just throw an onion or avocado or cucumber or whatever. I don't even put them in a bag. You can use these cloth bags for nuts and seeds, that kind of thing. But again, yeah, I usually buy a certain brand of nuts, organic nuts. I don't want to get them in bulk, but for produce, you just use these bags. You just dump them out, dump out any little pieces that fall off, like broccoli. You'll usually lose a piece of broccoli here and there. Then you just, after you've dumped out the bags, you just take them by the door, next to your purse or your backpack or wherever you keep your keys. And as soon as you go to the car the very next time, you take them with you. You throw them in the back seat, and then you will not, if you forget them next time, you know, you'll have them with you. At least you can run back to the car and get them. Just because I love them so much, I'll show you the other ones I have. And I have actually more than these. But, so this is one. I have like 3 of these. It just says organic, but these are canvas, and they're really sturdy. I've had these for years. I use them all the time. And whenever I go grocery shopping, I pack these things full because I don't like to carry 20 bags. I just carry, like, I just fill everything up, and I go once a week. Sometimes I don't go that often, but I don't buy that much stuff, so I just have them fill up, you know, a couple of bags. Or this one's Central Market, I think. No, Metropolitan Market. This one's from Seattle when I lived up there. And then these are my 2 favorites, but I don't use these as often because I actually keep them for something else. This is just a really big, really heavy-duty canvas bag. But I used to grocery shop in this all the time. And the one thing I like about it, some of these, they have an inside pocket, and you can just keep a matching one of these little ones that folds up into an egg shape in it. I'm not going to do it, but you can also put one of these in there. That way you've kind of got, you carry 1 bag around with you, and you've got kind of 2 at minimum with you in case you accidentally need to buy more stuff. And then my last favorite one is this one. Y'all know I like flowers, right? I'm sure that's kind of obvious at this point. But anyway, so that was item number 5, is your own shopping bags. Okay, item number 6. I keep them in this little glass jar in the bathroom, and they are to wipe your face. You can wash off your makeup with them. They're just white on the back. They're cotton flannel, and they're serged on the ends as well. So they're really sturdy, and they don't lose any strings. And then I have some larger ones. And these are like medium sizes. But they're just really fun. You know, you can just wash your face with these. Take off your makeup. Honestly, I don't wear makeup too often. But occasionally when I do, it's nice to use these to take your makeup off with. All right, that was item number 5. All right, this next item number 7, is for the ladies. So, guys, you might not want to watch this. But I don't know if you've heard of RUMPS. It's called Reusable Menstrual Products or Pads. I think it's really more for just products because you can use other things besides the pads. but I've been using these for probably 10, 12 years. They just snap up and they're great. You just wash them and reuse them, and they work. I mean, they're not, you want to make sure you get a decent quality. Obviously, you want to make sure that the fabric is not, basically, you have to kind of experiment with these to find the ones you like, because there's all different sizes and shapes. And here's like, and then some of them are kind of neat how they have different features. Like, you kind of want to try different ones. You don't want to go buying a bunch of these because they're very custom. Every woman's different. And so you want to just try 2 or 3 and like make them each different from a different seller. I get these on Etsy, by the way. You can get some, the first ones I ever got were at Whole Foods in Austin back in like the early 2000s. And they had these ones, they were just like plain organic cotton, cream colored. They were called Glad Rags, and those wore out a long time ago. But from ever since then, I go to Etsy and get them, because you can get all these pretty colors. Like this one's a little bit larger. And like this one has and I got the matching set. So this one's for the day, and this one's actually too small for the night. But I'll show you a couple other ones I have for nighttime that are really awesome. This is really just heavy days. But the cool thing is they have these little inserts. So they're different size inserts. So this insert fits, and I just love this design. This is what I wanted, and I kept looking for it, and I finally found someone that was doing it. This way you just keep the pad and you just replace you just replace the part that needs to be replaced. And this one has a longer one to fit. So I love these. In addition to these reusable menstrual pads, we also have these things, I think they're called leaves. And I just keep them in this little soap container that snaps shut. These are really good for low flow days, just real light days, spotting, low, just spotting to low flow. And they just, as you can kind of see, they just kind of fold in half, and you just insert them sort of on the outside. So they will capture the blood that flows out, but they won't fall off. So you'll be surprised how well they work. And then I just keep them in this little container. I believe I got this at Target or Walmart. Just for the day, throw this in your purse and just keep them in here. And then you have the second one for the ones that have been used, an empty one. It's kind of like your dry bag and your wet bag, if you're familiar with cloth diapers. And actually, speaking of wet bags, I have a couple of those I use as well on heavier days. I'll put the clean, dry ones. Okay, it's kind of hard to see because it's black. It's made by Planet Wild. And it has a pocket in the front here for, I can fit two of these larger ones easily. You could fit probably 3 or 2 big ones in like one of these smaller ones that's folded up for like a lighter day. And then once you use them, you can put them in this larger pouch with the zipper, and this has the lining to keep it waterproof. And you just throw this in your bag or your purse. And then I also carry them sometimes in like little coin purses, because they have like a lining in there. I guess, I don't know if all of them have that. I don't think they all do. But you can find these all over the place. I found this on Amazon, and I'll try to find the links to all this stuff in case you're interested in it. This is another dry bag. You could actually, to keep it home, you could hang this over the toilet roll holder and just throw in your used RUMPS after you... Okay, so let me explain what you do. Okay, let me explain a little bit how to use these. So with the pads or the leaves, you're going to... Okay, for the leaves, I had to fish one out of the toilet once because you got to be careful when you sit down. These are going to fall off into the toilet, usually. So you want to grab it real quick, then sit down. And if you're out and about, obviously you're just going to throw it in here without rinsing. Unless you're in one of those bathrooms that has a single toilet with a sink in it and a door and you can lock it, then you can go ahead and rinse it out. But if I'm at home, I will go ahead and rinse them out as soon as I remove it until it kind of runs clear. And then I'll just throw it over the tub to dry, and then I throw it in the laundry with the rest of the stuff, with the rest of the clothes, and it gets done at the end of the week, just like any kind of normal laundry. But it doesn't, there's no problems with smell or anything like that. Now what some people do, now if you're out, again, I'll just stick them in here, and when I get home, or I'll put them in here. And I've got a couple, I have another one that's like this material. It's like wet bag material, but it's small, and I bought it with these, and it matches the same fabric, so they're kind of cute. You can find all kinds of cute little stuff. Okay, so if you're at home and some people, I used to do this, and I don't do it anymore, but I used to, when I would remove them, I would put them in a solution in a bucket, and this was the bucket I used. I would just put them, and see I have a little pink on there so I don't get the bucket confused with anything else. I know pink was for my ladies products. And then I would actually use this piece of plastic from a TV dinner, one of those steamer TV dinners, to keep them up off the bottom. So, because when you would put them in here, I would put them in a solution. I did a little bit of bleach with water at first, but then what happened was I let them soak for like 3 days, and I had some damage to some of my pads from that. So I learned my lesson. They say you can do a little bit of bleach, but I wouldn't leave them in there more than like a few hours, if even that. And that's not really that eco-friendly. So people say put vinegar in there, but honestly, vinegar is a really powerful acid, and it can damage your fabrics too. So, and actually the bleach will actually damage the waterproofing backing. So you got to be careful with that. But what I have found, honestly, I don't even do that anymore. Also, it would smell a little bit. So now what I do is, like I said, just rinse them out immediately, hang them over the tub, and then throw them in the laundry basket with the laundry, and I never have any odor at all. Now, if you're at work, throughout the day and you come home, do it when you get home. Just takes 3 minutes to rinse them out and hang them on the tub. Now, as far as washing, staining, to prevent staining, you want to make sure, honestly, a lot of these just have the dark crotch area, so you really don't see that much staining. But I mean, I've had these for years and you don't see anything, although, I mean, if you look closer you could probably see a little bit. But the way to wash them is use cold water at first, because that will prevent the stain from setting in, and then once you get everything clean, you can throw it in a hotter wash. But really, I just throw them in with my laundry. Like I said, I rinse them in cold, throw them in with the laundry. Now, the other product you can use that I recommend, that I love to use, although I'm getting close to menopause now, so I'm not needing these products as much anymore, but this thing is called a Diva cup. It's a menstrual cup. And it's very stiff rubber. I'm not sure the material, silicone probably. And basically, quickly, just so people will understand how it works, is you fold it in half, like you kind of bend it like that, and then you fold it in half again, and then you just insert it, and when you get it inside, it just pops open. And you obviously insert it this end up. And then usually when you buy it, it comes with an extension that's just like a handle. It's just basically like an extension down, a thin little cylindrical handle. I cut that puppy off because it was poking me. I wanted to leave a little bit on the end to grab it, and it just kept being uncomfortable, so I finally cut the whole thing off. And honestly, you kind of need to grab at the base anyway. You don't want to be pulling on this little point, on the extension that I cut off. That doesn't really pull it out anyway. So now these things take a little bit of getting used to, but it's totally worth it. They fit all sizes and shapes and ages of women. There's basically two, one for if you've had a baby and one for if you have not. There's like, I don't know if you can see, but there's like little holes around the edges right around here. And that allows you to release the suction. When you're ready to empty it, let's say you're at work in the restroom, you reach in and you just grab the base. So there's basically a two-step process. Number one, you release the suction. See, people don't realize this and they end up having a problem or a mess or whatever. First thing you do is just release the suction. So you just pinch it. You basically reach up and pinch it like this, and then that will, you'll be able to tell. Then you pull it out. And then the only thing is when you pull it out, you got to be careful not to spill it because it's actually liquid. And you'd be surprised how slippery and sticky blood is. It's both slippery and sticky. So when you pull this out, if you don't have a good grip on that base, if you squeeze it too much high up, you'll squish it over the top and get it all over you. So I grab it at the very base really tightly. You know, you're reaching in through your legs here, and you just dump it in the toilet, and you keep holding tightly, and then you pull it out. And what I do is, when I'm in public, I grab a wet paper towel before I even go into the bathroom, because it's slippery, but then as soon as air hits it, it starts getting sticky. So what you want to do is empty it out, then just get some toilet paper and kind of rinse it out. I mean, just kind of wipe it out a little bit, just so it's not slippery, and then reinsert it. And then you're back to, get back on your merry way, and then you have a little wet paper towel to kind of wipe your hands off, and then you can finish using the bathroom and go. And then obviously wash your hands when you get out. But that works. Honestly, it's great. It lasts for many, many hours. I can get through a whole day, a whole work day from putting it in the morning, and on a heavy day, I will change it right after lunch. But on a medium day, I won't change it till I get home, or I won't empty it till I get home. Now, some people probably are a lot heavier than that. They may have to change it a couple times throughout the day, and then this is what you can use to clean it. It's just a little silicone container. You put some solution. There's a solution called Diva Wash. This is actually a body wash and face wash and Diva Cup wash. I actually occasionally will bleach my Diva Cup, but you don't want to do that too much because you'll end up damaging it over time. It won't last. It's supposed to last like 10 years. So you don't want to bleach it too much. Okay, so I talked about how to deal with this in public. When you're at home, it's basically the same thing. You just empty it out, and if you're near a toilet sink, you can actually reach over this to the sink and rinse it out versus using a little piece of toilet paper. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about the fabrics of these. You want to look at the materials. Some are more eco-friendly than others. I bought these so many years ago, I don't actually remember what these are made of. I think this is bamboo. I forget what it's called, but anyway, there's like 3 layers. The first layer is the part that touches your skin, and then the middle inside is an absorbent layer, and then on the outside is the backing, and that's the water resistant part that prevents it from leaking on you. But it will still leak. I'll promise you that. It'll leak out the sides over here. So you still can't wear them, too long. You still got to watch it. But these work really well. Other than that, like I said, when I bleached mine, they ended up leaking more after that. That is item number 7. And my last favorite item, number 8, is something that is a little controversial. I'm sure these are controversial too, but this is really going to be controversial. This item is reusable toilet paper. And I got it from Bessie Margaret on Etsy. And I love these. So let me show you. I just opened the package. And I have only been using this one. I have these that I've been using, which I also love. Well, I'll just show you these two. These, I'm telling you guys, you gotta kind of get over your squeamishness about your reusable toilet paper because it's awesome. Now, I'm just talking about for number 1 for right now, not for number 2. Well, sometimes it's totally fine for number 2, but let's talk about number 1 first. So here we go. This is just the care instructions, but they come on this little plastic. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it's like little snaps, and you just unroll it. It's 1 layer of flannel, and it's so soft. And what I do is I take it and I fold it in thirds and then wipe. And I'm telling you guys, for number 1, it's so not an issue at all. Okay, and I'm going to be kind of gross here for a minute, but Depending on your digestion, if you have issues, this might not be something you use for number 2. But if you have no issues with number 2, honestly, number 2, poop comes out a lot of times with a little slime coat, and it comes out clean. So unless you're having some digestive issues, these work perfectly for number 2 as well, and there's almost nothing on them. So you just have to kind of take it case by case. You know, when you go to the bathroom and you have to go to number 2, you can decide at that point whether you're going to use one of these or not. But I typically can use these. I always keep regular toilet paper there, but I pretty much don't. I use it maybe 10% of the time. And then I just throw these in a little basket. I have a little plastic basket. And actually I ordered a trash can with a flip top. The lid pops up and you throw it in there. You can use a solution of vinegar and water in there and have them be soaking. But I haven't even had to do that. I just put them in there and there is no smell. So, but I only leave them in a week at a time. So I do laundry every single weekend. If you have a big family, you might have to do them more often. But anyway, that's the toilet paper. Okay, and I wanted to talk a little bit about cleaning the family cloths or bidet cloths or toilet cloths. I'm just going to call them toilet cloths. I decided. I know everyone else says family cloths. And when I bought these, they said bidet cloths, but really bidet cloths are just for drying when you have rinsed off with a water source. I am probably going to install one of those because I'm just kind of curious. But for now, I've just been reaching over and getting the toilet cloth wet with the faucet. And that's been working great for me. So I don't really need a bidet. I just thought it might be kind of nice to have that. But might be kind of cold too. I think you can install ones that have hot and cold water. But okay, yeah. But so I wanted to talk about how you clean these family cloths. Okay, so you have different names. The family cloths are really considered more like toilet paper substitutions. And then the bidet cloths are more like a drying towel after you used a bidet. Family cloths get more messy. We're talking about the reusable toilet paper, not the bidet cloths. So if you actually use these for urinating and blood, then you can really honestly just rinse them. You could just throw them in the little bin like I mentioned before, and I'll put a picture of the little trash can that I got that hasn't arrived yet. I've been using something a little cuter than this to put mine in, and just leaving it open and not even rinsing them, just throwing them in after, number 1 and clean number 2s. And they've been in there a week. I actually just have them in the wash right now and they haven't smelled. They didn't smell last time. But I want to try to start using them with more, like try to go 100% of the time. So I've been, doing a lot of research on how to get those clean. And essentially you're going to use the same type of method as you would with cloth diapers, although they're not as dirty as cloth diapers. But usually with cloth diaper you are going to go ahead and try to get off the bulk of it just in the toilet. And if you have a bidet, a little sprayer, you could use that to rinse it off in the toilet, or you could also just have like a little squirt bottle. So I might just try the squirt bottle until I get a bidet. So once you rinse off, these are for the messy jobs. You rinse off the bulky particulate and then throw it in the container. And again, you can use the vinegar or not. I'm going to try it without. And ideally they say wash every 2 or 3 days with diapers. We're going to see how it goes with doing it my normal once a week. I'm just going to experiment with different ways with the messy jobs and then see how that goes. And I will report back. I will do another video once I have more experience with the full 100% reusable toilet paper. So you can search online to find many different recommendations on cleaning cloth diapers, but in general, the main things to keep in mind is you're thinking about two things: staining and cleaning, disinfecting and sanitizing. For the messy job cloths, you're going to do at least 2 washes. The first wash is going to be a quick wash in cold water. That will prevent staining, and you're going to use a little bit of soap and put in some OxyClean. Then you're going to throw it into a hot water wash, full cycle, plenty of rinse water. Use a large amount of rinse water because you want to rinse that out, and use a normal amount of soap, and then do an extra rinse. So if your machine has a cycle that has a pre-rinse or a stain, that could be your pre-soak, because pre-soak, pre-rinse and stain cycles, they're always cold water. So you could go ahead and choose that if you have a fancy washing machine, and then do an extra rinse and then do hot on the main cycle. So that's for disinfecting and removing stains. If you still have stains, you can put them in the sun. Sun is a natural bleaching and disinfecting agent. Again, avoid bleach if you can. Maybe just use it a little bit if you need to, but if the sun isn't something you want to try, let's say it's in winter time or you live up north and there's just, let's say you live in Seattle, there's not a lot of sun, you could try, there's a ton of eco-friendly products for stain removers. I will experiment with them, and when I do my larger video on laundry, I will include those links. But there's about 5 that I want to talk about, but I'm going to refrain from that until I really have some experience to go on. Last thing I want to say is, I know people who say, why don't you just use, why go through all this trouble? Just go ahead and use brand names, grocery store, expensive, chemical laundry detergents and things like that. If you just learn a little bit about the chemistry of laundry, then you can do anything with it, with completely eco-friendly products. So maybe sometime just spend a Saturday afternoon researching it and see what you think. You can find a way to do anything you could do with one of the name brands from the grocery store. So you just have to do a little bit more experimentation to see what's going to work. And also you got to keep in mind your water heater, the hot water is going to drop in temperature as it gets from the water heater to your washing machine. Mine has to come across the backyard, so the temperature drops a lot. Warm and hot water will always clean better than cold water in the same amount of time. But if you have to use cold water for some reason, you just wash it a lot longer and you're going to have to use more water. But if you use hot water, then it will clean quicker and more deeply in a short amount of time. So there's just various things like that to learn. You can use those dryer wool balls or tennis balls, throw them in the dryer, and that will air dry your clothes a lot faster. For example, then you don't have to use the high heat as long. It's like moving your clothes even more. So it's getting the air flowing through your clothes even faster. So there's all these little tricks you can use, but you just have to put a little bit of thought into it and a little bit of research into it. But in my opinion, it's really worth it. I actually enjoy learning. I get very curious about things. So maybe if you're not like that, it's not worth it to you. You'd rather just spend the money and just get the grocery store name brands. But then again, you think about what that's doing to the environment. You got these big plastic jugs, these chemicals, all the water and electricity that's used to create these products. Whereas if you use the eco nuts, which I haven't talked about, they're very sustainably harvested. And anyway, I'm going to do a whole video about that. So let me stop now on the laundry. But I just wanted to throw in some ideas about washing and also mention about the importance of sanitizing if you're doing the number 2 on the toilet cloths. That was really the main thing. And then how to take care of your rumps. So that's it for cleaning those. That's my product number 8. These are great. Maybe just try 1 or 2. If you're not used to any of this, maybe just try 1 or 2 things. Don't go fast. I've been doing this for years, and I've gradually increased my products that I use that are zero waste over the years. So be easy on yourself if it's all new to you, but be open to this because you're gonna like it. And also I forgot to mention, you can get, if your toilet is next to the sink, you can just reach over and get it wet, and it's like a real nice baby wipe. So and you're just cleaner, when you use these things than when you use dry toilet paper. So, all right, well, you guys, that is the end of my 8 products. So I will put links in the description below for if you want to buy any of this stuff, for where I got it. So anyway, I hope you have a great day and have a happy week.